Now, you had mentioned coming into that locker room and you're just a greenhorn, as they say, and kind of probably not exactly at ease in that setting. Back in the day, what was the etiquette like whenever a young guy like you would come into a new locker room? Are you going around shaking hands, try to keep your mouth shut?
Oh
What
yeah,
do you do?
that's and even to when I was still doing working at WWE, that still was kind of a common practice where a guy would come in and go around and shake hands. But I know, as in coming out of a football background, I came into the WWWF locker room, and I was working with either Johnny Rods or Jose Estrada. I think it was Johnny. And anytime I see anybody who sees Johnny Rods, I tell him, "Tell Johnny I'm sorry," because he had to work with me, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. That was Big Jim Duggan with the short hair, clean shaven, had a mustache, red and black trunks. I didn't know shit. And anyway, I came in the dressing room, and football dressing room. There's a newspaper. I picked a newspaper up and went over and sat down. That's not proper etiquette. It wasn't my newspaper. Johnny
Uh,
Rods' newspaper. That was a big deal.
did he
And
come chew you
Stan
out?
Hansen came over and kind of schmoozed it. We almost got out of hand. Johnny and Jose, they both got up, and I was really unaware what I did. So now I'm pissed off too. Well, fuck you guys too. Hey, newspaper, and Stan came over and schmoozed it all over. But that wasn't the proper etiquette. Wrestler, back in the day, you got to go, hey, brother, how you doing? Look, see paper. I grabbed the paper, but yeah, different. And it's funny because in football, it's a locker room. In wrestling, it's a dressing room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder why that is.
It's more theatrical dressing room.
Ah, I see.
That's what I don't know whoever came up with the deal, but yeah, it's especially coming out of a locker room, you come in, you go, "Where's the locker room?" People are like, "Well, the locker room's over there, but the dressing room's over here."
You were coming into the company during this was 1982, if I remember right. So you were coming into the company during like a pretty weird era when I don't know if did Roddy Piper ever tell you the story of the first time he came to the WWF? What happened to him?
I think so. Tell me which one.
Well, so he got the opportunity. He came in, and part of his gimmick was the bagpipes. So he comes in, and I think he was in Madison Square Garden, and somebody stuffed his bagpipes with toilet
Stuffed his
paper.
bagpipes on him. Yep, they
So
stuffed his
yep,
bagpipes.
they didn't work, and he went out there and made an ass of himself, and they didn't invite him back for a long time after that.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
like a
and then
really competitive place to be at the time.
yeah, it's still that kind of competitive, but they don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Hmm.
Dino Hernandez. Gino was a big star, would have been a huge star for WW, but went up there. He didn't fit in with the group, and boom, he got ostracized and didn't last long. Hard to last. I mean, it's New York, brother. New York, New York. You make it there, you can make it anywhere, brother. It's the big leagues, caps and sleeves, and it's just not your ring work. It's just not your personal life, which is a big part of it, but it's also behind the screen. It's a total package. I mean, some guys are great workers but can't talk on camera. Some guys are great workers, can talk on camera but can't handle life on the road. It's some guys have all three but can't handle the office. It's a unique stew of things that work and hard because everybody wants one of those spots. Everybody wants Hogan's spot and the spot below him. And the guy is there. I'm hanging on like this. You're not taking my spot easily. So it's the best of the best. That's the guys up there, even nowadays. The guys on there are the best in the world at what they do. If they're not there long.
Right. And a whole other element back then too, because there was no guaranteed contracts. It's man, if somebody else is coming in the door, they're coming for your job, and if they make more money, that might mean that you make less. So, boy, it got to
It,
be a tough
that
scene
was
to be a new guy there.
still was that carnival type atmosphere where the people were the marks and the guys would be in the car. Look at them stupid marks out there buying ticket. What kind of mentality is that? I mean, it was a transition from where wrestling came from to where it is now. Of course, it's a multi-million worldwide business. But right then, it was cool to see that transition. You
Yeah.
know, I'm doing Houma, Louisiana in some high school gym, and then I'm in the Silverdome in front of 93,000 people. What, what the hell happened there? Jesus.
That's why talking to you and DiBiase and Jake is really interesting because you guys got to experience both sides of it, the very carny side of it during your early days, and then you move into the more entertainment side, a corporate side of professional wrestling, later on in your careers. So it's cool to talk to you guys because we really get the full perspective from you.
And that wasn't just New York. You were talking about what they did to Piper in New York. You go into any new territory, new guy into any new territory is a threat. Nobody's happy to see you because you're coming in and somebody's leaving that's been there for 2 or 3 years or everybody's buddy. Yeah, it's a tough racket.
Next up, we've
That's
got
why
Mark.
people who say, Hacksaw, you got any advice for my son? He wants to be a wrestler. My daughter, she wants to be a wrestler. I said, oh, yeah, I got some great advice.